The Trevor Jackson Podcast.
What's good? What's good, man? I have my beautiful wife, Keyshana, with me again. And we want to talk about Gen Z. It's a viral video that has been spread all over social media, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. And this young guy was talking about how he would rather die than continue to work a 9 to 5. And I found it interesting, and I wanted to talk about it with my wife and discuss it because I grew up in an era where it was a privilege to work and bring money in. Like me working and me obtaining finances, it makes me happy to come home and be able to pay bills and provide and be able to do the things that we love to do. But a lot of people that work 9 to 5s are miserable and they dislike their job and what they're doing. And I say, you should have a pathway and find a way to do what you love to do. I'm going to play this first clip and then I'm going to have my wife speak on it. And we're just going to start the conversation from there.
I did a video like this not too long ago. Today I had a work meeting and it was the most... I have never felt this much dread in my life before. And I don't know, it got to a point where it's like we were talking about how we're all excited for our vacation. That's all people talk about at work, waiting for vacation. They live to wait for vacation. I said, I only have 2 weeks of vacation and it's 10 days. That's all you get. You work your whole year to give your time and your soul to someone else to help build their company. And in exchange, you get 10 days. Ooh. So it's like, wow, you're the rest of the time, you're just slaving away, for a company, and then you get 10 days. Ooh. And he said, yeah, welcome to the real world. But you're still young. You've barely started in this career. You've only been doing it for about 3-4 years now. And maybe in a few years, in 3-4 years, you'll have 3 weeks. And then, when you're like, that other guy, and he pointed to a colleague, he said, you'll, after 15 years of working, you'll get 4 weeks. He's about to get 5. What? So you're telling me if I slave away and I give all my time to someone else and all the other disadvantages that come with having a 9 to 5, well, more 8s to 5 because my lunch isn't paid. You're telling me I can get 20 days? Ooh. Really?
He said, really? What's your thoughts about that, baby?
I think that, working a 9 to 5 allows us the opportunity to pay our bills, right? To eat and to build a life. Okay. I will say a 9 to 5 isn't for everyone, and so if it's not for you, then what you should do is find a way to get out of it, right? You don't have to like it, right? But do what you need to do to get to your next opportunity.
True.
Be grateful. I work a 9 to 5. It's not the best. However, I know that I need to work because I have a lot of things that I want to accomplish. Yeah. And the only way to do that is if you do the work, right? We don't know the sacrifices that people who are entrepreneurs make. Okay. I'm quite sure it's not all glitz and glam all the time. There are going to be ups and downs, whether you are a business owner or whether you work 9 to 5. I think that, with the younger generation, they're used to things being in a microwave society, but that's not the truth. That's not the reality. They have a false sense of reality because of this social media age. Yeah. Everybody thinks that you can be an Instagram model and make $1 million a year. Okay. True. Now that is possible. Don't get me wrong. Right. But how many people are Instagram models making $1 million a year?
I just did a show about that. I'm going to let you finish your thought process. But I just did a show about that called The Lack of Influence. Are influencers really influential? Because
it depends.
I think it's all I don't want to use the wrong word, but a facade. Is that the right word?
Yes.
It's all a facade. I think that people are not living what they're showing on social media. They're only showing the good side. They're not showing the bad side. So it's misleading the youth. Yeah. And then the parents, we're not parents. I'm just speaking from an assumption perspective. I think that the parents are misleading the children about what they have to do to obtain finances.
100%. Because I hear a lot of people tell me that their kids are going to NFL, going to the NBA, but they're not that great. You know, I hate to say it. You might be good for, high school, but you might not be good enough for college, right? When you get to college, you might be good, but you might not be good enough for the NFL.
That's true.
Okay, to achieve that type of level of success, you have to put in the work, and some people just don't have it. And that's okay. However, you just need to tap in what you enjoy doing, what you like doing, what you're happy with doing, and what wakes you up every day to do it again.
Yeah.
Okay. When you find that, then I feel like, your life will be better.
I agree with you on that. And growing up, we didn't have the internet to the capacity that they have it now. And they have things at their fingertips. And they think that this life, they supposed to be on a different island every week. They supposed to have the $4,000 Air Force Ones on their feet.
Yeah.
And it's not the reality of it when they see their check and they look down, or they see their deposit and they look down and be like, wow, I can't make a half of a mortgage payment.
Correct.
With the way that the world is set up today. But we're going to get into part 2 of the clip of this young man, and we're going to discuss it.
Okay.
The worst part is exchanging time for money. There's commute. If you have your own company, you can deduct your commute to work, right? As an employee, you're taxed before you get the money, so you can't deduct anything. So people think like you're supposed to do this. This is because you're taught this in school. You're taught this from family, from friends. It's like you're supposed to do this. This is the only way. I said this in my other video. The only time like I'll recommend a traditional path is if you've got something that makes you happy that you want to achieve. I know someone who wants to become a lawyer because that's what they want in life, and that's their meaning to live. Some people want to be a teacher. Some people want to be a doctor and save lives. Then do it. Do that. But I can't. Get taxed the hell out of what you make before you even make it. Whereas if you have your own company, if you're smart with that money, you can make that money grow before you pay taxes at the end of the year. So you win. Plus, money's worth less as time goes on. So that tax amount you need to pay, it's worth less later. So it's better to pay it later than immediately. When you get taxed before your salary, that's when you lose the most. And then you're left with nothing. Because the moment you quit your job, like I quit tomorrow, there's nothing left. You haven't built up something for yourself that you keep for yourself. You work all this time, you leave, and that's it. They're thankful you did it for them, but you're left with nothing. They're not going to be like, hey, for all the hard work you did, we're going to pay you a monthly salary of like 10% of what you earned total just to like keep you going. No, it's over. My colleague, when I told him it's really depressing, he says, yeah, well, you don't think about it because then you'll want to die. But you get older and you'll learn to suppress the feeling.
He does start talking about death. That's wild. I want to say something before I let you give your perspective, baby.
Okay.
This method of work and stuff was taught to us in school. Because school was a structure similar to working. We went to school from 8 to whenever you got out, 3:30, 7:30 to 3:30 or whatever, and it prepared you for the workforce.
Right.
It didn't prepare you to be the buzzword that everyone is using nowadays, an entrepreneur. You have to further your education and be self-taught and further your education for life. Education is a lifelong thing if you want to achieve the things that you want to achieve.
That's true.
But him saying what he was saying, it's like he wants to commit suicide. He doesn't like it. He started talking about the benefits of taxes and not taxes. I think that a job or a 9-to-5 and an entrepreneur is similar. Because to be a successful businessman or entrepreneur, you have to put in more hours, more time. You have to pay for your own health care, your own retirement. You have to invest in things that is set up for you when you're a W-2 employee.
Right. Correct.
Okay. What's your thoughts on the video? Do you remember what he said? I'll talk too much.
No, I remember what he said. I remember when he was talking about taxes and, when you leave your 9 to 5, you don't have anything. But that's not true. Because if you're working and you have a 9 to 5 and you invest in 401k, you have your 401k,
Yeah.
right? You paying all this money for when you get older so you can have your Social Security. So you do have something. So that's not totally true. I just think that, we need to change our perspective, as a society, as a whole. We need to unlearn the things that we have been learning, right? Because it's not good. I mean, I really feel terrible for the youth because a lot of them are oblivious, right, to reality and inflation, because the world is ever changing and it's not necessarily decreasing in value, it's increasing in value, right? So I remember a couple years ago, actually in 2008, there was a crash, right? So 2008, you can get a nice house for like 150, right? 100,000. Today, here we go in Charlotte. So today, here we go in 2024, right? And the average price of a home here, brand new, let me talk about brand new, is $400,000.
Yeah, minimum.
Minimum. And how are you going to get the money if you don't want to work?
Yeah.
And then it's harder to get a house if you're an entrepreneur versus if you have a 9 to 5.
Explain that.
So basically, right, as far as being an entrepreneur, you have to show your work, your history, like your taxes for 2 years.
Yeah.
And of course, you got to make a substantial amount of money to afford this particular house. Your taxes are not taken out. You also have to make sure your taxes are taken care of. Everything is taken care of. It's so much harder. It's easier when you have your 9 to 5 because you can just give them your tax information.
That's true.
Right. So that's another thing that you have to consider as well. I'm not saying that being an entrepreneur is bad. I think it's great, actually. I think, working a 9 to 5 is great, actually. Right.
Yeah.
It's all about your resources, tapping into your resources and finding a way out of there.
And it's
whatever
it's
you
not
want to do.
also, I'm sorry to cut you off. It's not also about how much you make.
No,
it's
absolutely
about what you
not.
do with what you make.
100%.
And I like how you explained what entrepreneurs have to go through with the home buying process, because
Right.
if somebody don't know that just heard this, they could learn something from that, because they might want to purchase a home and not know that they need to keep those records of those payments and their history of the finances that they made. But I want to go off topic for a second from the Gen Z and the 9 to 5 thing, because if people don't know us, we met in real estate school.
Right.
And that's how we formed our union. I couldn't get away from her when I met her. She got I don't know, but I love this little baby, and ever since I met her, we've been intertwined. But we met in real estate school, so I'm gonna pull up a real estate topic that was mentioned at the Democratic National Convention with Kamala Harris, and this is like something that she wants to do with her economic plan.
At the end of my first term, we will end America's housing shortage by building 3 million new homes and rentals that are affordable for the middle class. We will do that together. We will do that together. And we will make sure those homes actually go to working and middle class Americans. Not just investor.
My thing.
Don't get me started on this. Go ahead.
I'm getting you started, baby, because I gotta get started. My thing with that: who is gonna pay for that $25,000? First of all, my second thing is there really a housing shortage?
First of all, no, there's not a housing shortage. Houses are on every block around here. Okay.
Brand new, empty.
Brand new. Nobody's in there. Right? It's not a housing shortage. Like you said, it's a wage gap.
That's
okay. So people don't have the finances to purchase these homes. And like you said, where are we getting the money from? Oh, that's because she's trying to tax you for your capital
And
gains.
she ain't gonna just tax the rich. She's
Right.
gonna tax us all.
Correct.
That's what I assume. I don't want to be
Right.
acting like I'm spewing facts.
Correct.
Because I'm assuming right now, but I assume that she's going to tax us all. And I wish she would speak on what she's specifically going to do if she's going to give new home buyers $25,000 down.
Yeah.
And then to me, this is another assumption. The middle class, like, Ain't no such thing as the middle class no more. You either rich or poor. That's another assumption from me. You either rich or poor, because if you can't afford a home, that's why these homes are empty. And then you have to have a union to be able to afford these homes, because the average person that's not making $150,000 can't afford a $400,000 home alone.
Yeah.
My point of view of that.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Thank you, baby, for being on the show.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna play the last clip of the Gen Z guy talking about he don't want to work a 9 to 5. He would rather die than work a 9 to 5. And we gone, man. I appreciate y'all tuning in, man. Peace, love, plenty of abundance. Make sure you go get you some money. Chip.
So is that life? Is that what life's supposed to be? Learn to suppress the feeling of wanting to die? That's not nice. I'm happy. I'm not a sad person. I have big ambitions, big dreams. Working for someone else and thinking it's the only way is wrong. And I can't do it. I know a lot of people in the comments will be like, well, then prove it. Or, yeah, well, you just need to accept it. I think that's just the consensus. People say, you just need to accept it. That's what my colleagues were saying. You just need to accept that's normal life. Because that's what they've been told. I'm sorry, maybe I dream in color, but I'd much rather do that than black and white, you know? I don't care about money. I want time. 10 hours every day is gone. No, it's never been about the money. I don't care about money. Cut my salary in half. I don't care. I want control over time. I'm at the office and there's no work left to do, and it's 3 p.m. and you do this, waiting for 5 p.m. to come, and you feel your soul slipping away, like just wasting away. School teaches you that failure is a bad thing. The moment you go to school, you're told an F. You fail. It's bad. Failure is taught like you fail once, it's over. You have to restart. It's done. That's not true.
The Trevor Jackson Podcast.